it was your girlfriend's birthday, wasn't it? Earlier in the week or last week?
On Monday, yeah.
And I mean, obviously, it was a triumph with the stuff you got her for Christmas.
The condoms,
the box of condoms,
box set of condoms.
Oh yeah,
not just the singles, the whole set.
Yeah, a complete collection.
Brilliant.
So what did you go for this time?
What did you get her?
Yeah, but
No, yeah, but it's her birthday. How long have you been together?
About 9 years.
Okay, so God, it must cost you so much.
No, but it starts getting tricky, doesn't it? Because I spoiled her a lot in the first few years.
Yeah.
So then
here's a packet of rubber bands. Enjoy them.
Oh.
Well, it's what she wanted.
Okay.
I mean, you're making out as if...
No, everyone wants paper clips. Come on, what did you get her?
Got her a new pair of gloves.
Right.
All right, well.
And?
What, nice leather ones from Selfridges or Harrods or something?
They were good ones, they're the sort she likes, so... They weren't...
Well, they weren't the little woolen ones that she had.
Yeah.
I thought that was a joke when she said he got me these, because I laughed.
No, but I know that's... The one she did have,
When they said it's his birthday, right, it was her birthday Monday, and me and Steve wanted to get her, and she went, he got me these, because she had those little woolen gloves on. I laughed, because I thought she was joking, Carl.
That's what she wanted.
Right.
I've told you before about buying presents. It's...
Did those gloves have your name sewn in them? And a piece of string that ran over the back of your duffel coat?
You know, I've never been into getting presents and that. I had the problem at that Christmas one, that time with the Victoria Plum.
Yeah, we'd hate that. We'd hate to bring that back.
We've done that.
Because you talked about the book, because it's kind of to do with your dad, isn't it? He's a very bad gift buyer. Was that the problem?
Well, yeah, my dad just wouldn't bother. It was my mum who sort of made an effort, and she sort of worked out half of what I wanted, then she left it to my dad to get it off someone, see if he could get one cheap or whatever.
I love the fact that usually people talk about, like, drinking heavily or violent abuse, right? Yeah. But here's what he's been left with and scarred with from parents is bad gift buying.
Yeah, and
that's
the Victoria
not so bad,
Plum incident.
In the greater scheme of things in the world, that's not a bad thing to have, is it?
Right, there was this, this is what it's like about getting presents and stuff, right, with my mum and dad.
Go on.
My mate, Colin, right?
Colin Makin?
No, Colin Bailey.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
He had a little Sinclair Spectrum, right? Computer, which was like the thing to have at that time, right? Yeah. Used to always go round to his house. The deal was...
Not the one you had to play through the window because you weren't allowed to.
No, that's another lad.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
This is a different lad. And the deal was, he came to our house, and my mum gave him a pie. And then I'd go round to his, and I'd stay there for a few hours playing, you know, Hungry Horace and stuff like that on it.
Sure.
Right? Now, my mum and dad knew that I really wanted one of these computers, right? So I waited about a year. Came round to Christmas Day. I thought, I reckon might have one. Turned out they bought me the wrong one. They bought me a ZX81 instead of a Spectrum, right? And Christmas Day, I'm there trying to load the games up. It's not working. I'm thinking, what's wrong, right? And the thing with me, when I was a kid, I used to get quite sort of agitated.
This is the moment,
right? I found out that it needed a RAM pack to make it work, right? Looking in the thing, and it's saying, and make sure you put your RAM pack in the back. And I was like, oh, where's the RAM pack? And my dad's going, I don't know. I've got you the main bit. That's it. So I was that wound up. I just was sick, right? Just sick. I didn't feel sick or anything. I just was like, oh God. Went to the sink, just sick. Because I was that on edge about it. I said, come on, we've got to get one. And my dad's like, Tandy's shut. We're not gonna get anything today. Ruined again, Christmas Day. That was after the year when my train set got blown up by our kid. The following year, no RAM pack. And now you ask me, why don't I get good presents?
He's scarred. He just
I'm gonna die. Honestly, I'm gonna die. He's just being sick.
Yeah. There's no RAM pack.
Did you get to the bottom of it? Why wasn't there a RAM pack?
You have to buy them separate.
Oh, okay.
What do you mean I can't play Frogger?
Oh no.
So wasn't there another incident when you threw up? Spontaneously threw up through sheer anxiety.
I do get it. It's not so much now because I've relaxed a bit. But as a kid, I used to be quite on edge all the time with certain things.
Do you think that's what happened to your
The
cat
wind.
that kept being sick? That it didn't get the food it wanted, and it just threw up. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
God, so they shaved it.
Yeah, but again, you see, the cat thing, I mean, it's mad. I was thinking about it the other day, right? I used to think I had quite a normal upbringing,
You didn't.
right? And someone was talking
Your
about the
mother
cat.
once told you not to go to school because it was windy, Carl. It was
Yeah.
not a normal
The
upbringing.
cat was being sick, so she shaved it, so it was easier to clean.
Right, well, my mum and dad went on holiday, right? And I stayed at the Rosses down the road.
Oh, yeah.
Only a kid, must have been about 5 or something, right? And I was always running around in the house. I had a lot of energy as a kid. What the Rosses did, they had this cat that was dead violent, the most violent sort of angry cat I have ever witnessed.
A tiger.
Honestly, Steve, if it was bigger, it would have been, because it was just always having a go at you.
Yeah.
If you went to pat it on the head, it went to bite you and stuff. And what they used to do with it, to stop me running around, I'd sort of be running around, and then I'd get a bit tired, and they'd say, have a lie down on the settee. So I'd lie down on the settee and I'd nod off. And what they used to do, I'd wake up and they'd have put the cat on my belly. Right? So I'd be scared to move because it's like it's going to get me.
But it would keep you
But
there.
it kept me there, and it used to sort of slaver on me, and they'd sort of, go out or whatever, and I'd be lying there. That's not normal, is it?
Carl, sorry, were you created by the Brothers Grimm for one of their fairy tales? What kind of a life is that?
There was a picture of some people. They've got an airline of their own now.
What, nudists?
Nudes.
Nude airline?
So you can get on there. And your holiday starts as soon as you get on.
Sure.
And but what's the point?
Well, I'd be worried just about banging against things. You know.
So to speak.
Yeah, my shoes and things.
Or spilling the when the waitress comes along, the aerostess, and she spilt hot coffee.
Yeah, that's a good point. Would
I
she
wonder-
have to be nude? Would the stewardesses have to be
I
nude?
don't know. But that bit as well, where they walk down the aisle and they have to check if you've buckled up.
Yeah.
She's like, excuse me, miss, can you just... And over 50s, it's always over 50s.
Right, yeah.
So it'd be an old woman on the plane.
Yeah,
She'd
yeah.
be like, can you just lift your left tit up so I can see the belt?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh God! Yeah. Oh dear!
Imagine if you've got to go into the crash position.
Oh God! Yeah.
You know? The last thing you see is your John Thomas
John Thomas.
as you go crashing into a mountain.
Carl, I want you to tell Steve what you told me in the week. About the snake, about the anaconda. How to... Right, this is Carl's method. He's not scared of the anaconda. The 30-foot long, biggest, scariest snake.
No, you were
In the
talking
world.
about stuff, weren't you, about in jungles and that, and animals and
That's
stuff.
what we do.
Yeah.
Right?
Right?
And I remember reading about, say if you're in the jungle and you get tired and you go to sleep, right? And you sort of wake up and you feel something on your leg, and you look down, and it's an anaconda, right?
Yes.
And it's swallowing your feet, because apparently they always go from the feet up. They never eat you from the head. So
Okay. Shall I save these points to the end? Because that's
Make a list of the points.
Because they always eat head first, because the way the fur goes, where they have to take a capybara or even a rat, they take it from the head
But
first.
make
'cause it's
a
Sure,
point.
okay, I'll do
Make
that.
some notes
Okay,
there,
so that's
Rick.
wrong.
We'll come back to
Okay,
this
next,
later.
go on. So they always eat you from the feet. Go on.
So they swallow in your feet, and it said on the website, if you wake up and you see this anaconda doing that, sort of eating away at your feet, don't panic.
Don't
And
panic. I'm
don't-
just writing this down. Don't panic. Well done. Okay, go on.
Don't try and kick it off.
Okay.
Just let it sort of swallow you, but only up to your knees.
Okay.
Why not kick it off straight away? Because it.
I think it sort of gets a bit angry. It starts thrashing about, and it can swallow faster. I think. I'm guessing that bit.
Okay. Just put a question mark by that.
Okay,
there, Rick.
pop a question mark next
So,
to eat.
so
knees.
yeah, so it's up-
eat knees. So
it's-
eat it up to your knees.
It's up to your knees,
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
what
yeah.
you do is you get a knife
Yeah.
Okay.
and you cut.
And how do you get a knife? Do you
on.
do you
No,
walk
no.
over to the kitchen?
I was
or-
going to pop over, get knife. Where's that come from? Get
Well,
from
you
the knife.
always have a knife.
Okay.
Always have a knife, of course you do.
Always have a knife.
Otherwise you're a fool. Always have a knife, okay?
Well,
Eat-
come on.
Yeah, yeah.
If you're going to go into a jungle,
Always have a knife. Okay.
Always have a knife, yeah.
simple.
Could I just suggest something? You know, suppose you're wearing combat trousers, and the knife is actually in the trousers by the knee, the sort of pocket by the knee. What happens then? I suppose you could still reach into the mouth, couldn't you? So anyway, you've got a knife. Let's say you've got a knife. Let's say you've fallen asleep. The anaconda's chewing your feet. You let it eat up to the knees. You've got a knife. What do you do then, Carl?
Right. So it's up to your knees, and what you do, you get your knife that you got out of your pocket earlier, and you cut it at the mouth, right? Do you know, like either side of the lips?
Right.
So you're sort of cutting it in half.
Right, like a Chelsea smile.
And it can't... Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
It can't do anything. It wasn't ready for that. It can't move about because it's got, like, your legs in its mouth.
Uh-huh.
And peel it off and walk away.
Okay. My main point really is this, Carl. Never will an anaconda or any constrictor, python, boa constrictor, just start eating a sleeping man. He will crush you to death first. That's why they're called constrictors. They're not called gobblers, are they? Or holy swallowers. They're called constrictors. Why would he start eating something? Is that how they take down antelope? Just start chewing their leg? Oh, it's gone off. I'll tell you what, lads. They get together. This next one, they said, I'll tell you what, we're losing a lot of prey by just living at their ankles. They're running away. Let's crush them to death first so they can't move. Then we can swallow them. You're a fool.
So anyway, right, so I was telling him this bit of information because we started a feature last week. Mm-hmm. Well, week before.
Sorry, Carl, can we just go back to the crushing you to death first?
Yeah, but... Well, I read it.
He's won there. He's beating you there, Rick.
Okay. Did it say what to do if it starts crushing you to death first? No. Did it say what to do? Supposing it had this meeting. It had this meeting. And it started crushing you and you woke up and it was actually round your chest. And every time you tried to take a breath and breathed out a little bit, it just tightened its grip because it can feel that. What'd you do then?
You sort of tighten yourself up anyway, because I've read about that.
Yeah.
If one does start wrapping around you, you sort of make yourself into a ball, first of all, and it'll wrap around you, but it's all right because you're protecting your lungs, so it can't crush you. And then you just sort of shout for help, and you
shout for help with this 30-foot snake. Do you know how it works? It gets as tight as it can. It can feel as tight as it can, right? With these huge muscles, right? Yep. Right. When you leave a bit of breath out, it tightens again.
You won't be that out of breath. You haven't been running anywhere, so you can just go.
What? And when do you get the new mouthful of oxygen?
Just breathe very slowly, like you do.
How? Do you know what breathing is? Do you know what breathing is? It's extending your rib cage, right? Intercostal muscles between the ribs. Contract like that. Okay, making the rib cage expand, which pulls air in through. It's like a bellow. That you can't just breathe via the mind. It's a physical process. It's your rib cage pulling over.
Maybe I'm special, but I can do little breaths without my rib cage.
Play a record, Steve.
You're special.
Play a record.
No.
You can't take little breaths without moving your rib cage.
Okay, all right. Let's just leave the anaconda discussion. Why don't you agree to disagree, and we'll see who survives if you crash land in the jungle.
Right. Do you know, like I'm always thinking about stuff when I'm washing up.
I'm just going to look at Steve for the reaction when this question comes out. Okay.
There's been a few things I've been thinking about. Do you know, like how I try to confuse a computer by putting in Y in the search engine?
Yeah.
So, along the lines of that, I was thinking in the week, if you put a chameleon on a mirror, what would happen?
Right.
And also, this is a bit of a bigger issue. We're always making more and more stuff, right? In the world, you know, big buildings, big planes, big boats, and that. Will we ever get to a point where all this is too heavy for the world to handle?
Right. What error has he made there, Steve? What physical, scientific error has he made there with that question?
I can't begin to explain it.
Carl, we're not getting the rocks from other planets. It's already here. It's like having a big pile of books in a room and then moving them over to the other side of the room and build a thing going, oh, can the room take it? I'm building a lot of things out of these books.
What about plastic? Where's that come from?
Other chemicals that existed on the planet.
Yeah.
Do you see the point?
Hang on a minute, though. What about a little tree? You plant that as an acorn, it grows, Rick. That's bigger. That's more stuff.
Yeah.
Don't listen to him, Carl. He's patronising you.
What about acorns and that, though?
Right. They grow from minerals and proteins already in our atmosphere or in our the mass of Earth.
What about a cat, Carl? Right, you get it. It's a very tiny kitten, but it grows up and it's bigger.
Carl, he's doing it on purpose.
Elephants.
They're very small to begin with, but they get bigger and bigger and bigger, and so they get heavier and heavier.
Mind you, dinosaurs have gone.
You know, but famously that's how Atlantis disappeared. You know, you've heard of the legend of Atlantis. Have you heard of the legend of Atlantis?
I think so.
This was a city that existed. It's proven, right? And what happened was they just kept buying stuff in mail order. They just kept ordering stuff, like the king and stuff. Just kept ordering stuff in mail order. He brought girls across,
Carpets, lot of carpets.
He kept buying TV set, big screen TVs and stuff like that. And eventually,
he bought up all the myrrh that the wise men didn't want.
yeah, he just because he's from like olden times, and he just kept buying stuff, crazy. Like he was just a shopaholic basically.
Mental it was.
And he was ludicrous. It was like, and in the end, it just sunk. It just sunk.
Too heavy.
And it just sunk.
So, to the earth, the more planes we build, the more trees we let grow.
Yeah.
From acorns.
And more than that, what about all the people who are overeating?
There's only one
your
thing
Rick
to
Wallers
do.
in this world.
I think we've got to kill off endangered species and burn trees. That's the only way the earth can survive. You mental. Right, what are you doing?
Right.
Okay, look, quick query for you. This is from Jay. He's got a problem here. He says, my parents won't let me ditch my studies. He's currently reading modern languages at London University.
Sure.
He wants to follow his dream, but his parents won't let him, of being a dancer. Carl. Worse than that, he says that they're trying to arrange a marriage to a bunch of minging daughters of people they know from good families. He doesn't know what to do, so he's got the arranged marriage coming along, and he's also got, he basically wants to be a dancer. His parents are forcing him into something more practical.
Well, the first thing, right, I don't think
Live your dreams?
The arranged marriage thing is such a bad idea.
Okay.
Because I think too many people go on looks.
Right.
And then you soon get bored of that, and you find out the person who you're knocking about with is actually not your type.
Right.
Why don't you arrange marriages for people?
Well, I'm just saying, right, so I'd say, Jay, go along with that. I wouldn't worry about it.
Okay.
I mean, if they're really ugly, then, don't go along with it. But if they're half bad, put up with it. That's
Sure.
all right. The dancing,
Brilliant.
right?
That's that solved.
Brilliant.
I wanted to be a dancer. After I did the boxing, right, I joined a dancing thing just near Man United's ground, right, called Twiggies. Went along, I wanted to learn some moves. And
How old were you?
Well, it was when Michael Jackson was, like, pretty big, so about 83, 84, 85, something like that, around there. Wanted to do it. When I went, it was shut, and I'd become like a warehouse for toilet rolls. So in a way, I wonder what would have happened.
Sorry. How is that an anecdote about you going through dancing?
Well,
You've told me before you did boxing for a while, you did dancing for a while. You had a true fight in the boxing. You didn't even get in the. That's not an. Imagine if that was a film. This is a boy's dreams of becoming a dancer. Oh, it's shut. Next on. I mean, how is that a story?
Yeah, if that was Billy Elliot, do you think it would have won quite as many awards?
Yeah, brilliant. Footloose. All right,
Yeah.
I'm fed up. They banned it. Let's go. Eyes shut. Flash dance. First, there was. It's a warehouse. Never mind.
I'm just saying, you'll find something else. I think I got a go-kart after that. I bought a motorised go-kart and kept myself busy with that. So. There's always other
Just
things.
think, Alan Bennett has to sit down and really sweat over his stories.
Yeah.
He just opens his mouth.
You are a living Alan Bennett character.
So that's
So that's solved. Well, Jay, don't worry about that. There's no emotional problems I can foresee if you follow that advice.
So the advice
Solid
there
stuff.
is do an arranged marriage.
If she's not
If she's not
ugly.
minging,
Yeah.
she's not completely minging.
Yeah.
And don't worry about dancing. Get a go-kart. Cheers.
Great.
The XFM Vault. The Ricky Gervais Show featuring Stephen Merchant and Karl Pilkington.
XFM.
The XFM Vault. The Ricky Gervais Show featuring Stephen Merchant and Karl Pilkington.
XFM.
XFM 104.9. I'm Ricky Gervais. With me, Steve Merchant and Karl Pilkington.
Yeah.
Little Carly Pilkington, little baldy mank, whinging little twat. How are you?
Yeah,
All right?
all right, yeah.
What are we doing? Happy? Feeling a bit happier today? You look as full of spunk, as they say in America.
Yeah, I'm all right. Just a bit of a miserable day, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
A bit miserable.
Yeah.
Walking in today, right? Do you know I walked through, like, the sort of the gay district of London and that?
Right.
Well, you don't walk, you mince, don't you?
Well, just walking through on the way to work, and I'm always interested in their little shops and stuff that they have, right? Loads of.
Their little shops.
That's don't be ashamed of. If you want to go in and buy something, go in and buy something.
I'm just having a look at, looking in the windows and stuff. Little postcard just near the near the entrance.
Yeah.
That's meant to tease people in, to make people go, that sounds good, I'll nip in. Right? Little postcard. Free butt plugs with every sale.
That's great. How did we get from 5p off milk to free butt plugs with every sale?
Wow.
What's society come to?
Well, it's because we're liberated, Rick.
Yeah.
You know, it's an open society.
What did you buy to get them? You didn't buy...
No, I didn't. But what's the purpose?
What, of a poster or of butt plugs?
Butt plugs, because I really honestly
You
don't.
shove them up your arse, don't you?
Whoa, slow down, bum. Shove them up your bum.
Yeah.
But when is that? Just like when you're doing whatever, doing stuff around the house, or
I think it's not to keep things out. Is it like you would use a plug in the sink to keep, the water in the sink?
Oh, if you're not gay.
Well,
Get that? Oh, yeah. No, I know what you mean, yeah.
I don't know.
No
entry.
entry.
What is it? I mean, I don't understand what
I
that's
don't know. I assume it either feels good or are they... well, I've got to be careful here. Or are they sort of like breaking it in?
Right, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like it's like a shoehorn.
Sure.
or
Yeah. It's
or
like when you stick paper in your shoes if they're a bit tight.
Or those people who sort of like put little bits of wood in their lips, and then as soon they've got big plates in their lips.
Yeah.
Same with the butt plug. It means you can, you're ready for anything. I don't know, do I? Look at Carl's face.
Well, if you know what butt plugs are used for, then why not get in touch? Ricky.Gervais at xfm.co.uk.
What do you think? If there's any,
I can't believe we're already on this subject.
I know.
It's 1:05 and we're
I
already
was
talking about
going to say then, if there's any people who use butt plugs, and I was thinking that Carl would have said, well, they're not up yet, because they go out late.
no, but
But what is it? We're award-winning people. We've written a TV
Not on
show. It's
radio
highly
though.
respected.
Not on radio. We're rubbish on radio.
I know, but
We've
what-
got nothing to lose.
But I always say to you, Steve, that I like educating people and that. Now, the way I see it is I didn't know what they were.
Let's phone to go. Someone might know about butt plugs.
All right, well, we'll get
No,
to
no,
them.
get them on. Get them on. Ask them.
No, because they might say something dodgy.
Oh!
Yeah, whereas, what have we just been doing?
Just take a chance. Take a chance and tell them not to swear.
Well, you tell them.
Okay.
Right, Steve, do
I
you
haven't got my headphones on.
Hello, who's that?
Oh,
Can't hear, hold on.
Nicholas.
Who, sorry?
Nicholas.
Nicholas, hello, mate. You're not going to swear, are you?
No, I'm not going to
Keep it clean.
Yeah.
Keep them keen. What were you calling about?
I'm phoning about your plugs.
About not my plugs, but sure, plugs in general. What do you know much about them? Are you a plug user yourself?
No, I'm just thinking if maybe you've got some gay friends and you're spending the night at their place, you might want to use one.
Right. What, you mean experiment with them, or?
No, so you can make sure they're not going to do anything while you're asleep.
Could I suggest? Just lock the door. I mean, that is easier to me.
Can I make a bigger suggestion? That's probably the most homophobic thing we've had said on the show today. Thanks very much for your call. Right, okay,
Yeah.
good. Well, that's why we shouldn't put people on the line. Just, without checking first. I think Carl's made a good point.
Steve,
Yes.
I want to talk to you. I think it was might have been Wednesday night. I was in the pub. Phone goes. Carl goes, "Are you watching that thing about parasites?"
Right.
I went, "No, I'm out." He went, "Oh, fella with a maggot in his head."
Fellow with a maggot in his head.
Yeah. And we go, "Oh no, he's pulling it out now." Oh. I said, "Well, I'll get it. I'll get it." I said, "Yeah, see you later." About 5 minutes later, I get a message on my phone. Beep, beep. I look at it. It just says, "Oh no, there's a fella with his fish up his cock now."
There's a fellow with a fish up his cock.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Do you want to explain that, Carl? Is it one of those little ones that swim up if you're having a slash in the Amazon?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's weird, isn't it? But it was still like stuff like that. It started off with
What does the fish do when it gets in there?
just sits there.
Why does it? Why?
Well, what else can it do?
No, but why does it go up there?
Don't know. I didn't listen to that bit. There's a bit. It started off with a fella who had a bit of meat and got a tapeworm inside him,
Yeah.
and he grew it for however long, and then it came out at the end. It was about 7 foot long.
On purpose?
Yeah, he did it on purpose. Yeah, for the program, right?
I think, yeah. Probably slimming, isn't it?
Well, I was thinking that could I mean, you're a fan of Waller. Could he purposely have about 8 of them?
What, Rick Waller?
Yeah,
It's a good idea.
because they were saying how they eat you know, a lot of stuff when they're in you. They just eat all
Well,
the...
they take enough so you don't die, and nor do they. Yeah, but I mean, you've got to keep taking them out, haven't you? Because you'll still have the same weight because it's got to go somewhere. So you'll have them in you. What you got to do is like let them eat your meal and then take them out.
Do you think worm watchers will catch on?
Yeah.
So anyway, so that happened, right? And then yeah, there was a woman with a maggot in her head.
A woman with a maggot in her
Yeah,
head?
she went on holiday, it got in there somehow, and
Stowaway.
it just it was massive. And the thing is, she had a hole in her head, and she's there being interviewed with the doctor, like, and you can see it just sort of sticking its head out. Like, do you know when you see a cartoon with a maggot in an apple,
Yeah.
and it looks out and looks around like that?
Yeah.
Why didn't they just take it out there and then?
I think they could have done, but the doctor's messing about. It's like, well, it's good for the show, isn't it? And they left it in there.
Right, that's libelous.
Well,
That is libelous.
but I found it weird. Why not just grab it? When it
Because there must be a reason. There must be one of those medical reasons that you don't really know about, Carl.
right. And another bit. This was the best one, right?
Grab it!
Right. There's this fella, and he was on his bike, right,
Yeah.
cycling to work or whatever, and he sort of sees this thing in the corner of his eye. Right?
Literally in the corner of his eye. Or you mean he saw
He just said
something
he saw
in his
something.
peripheral
He
vision?
saw
Okay,
something
yeah.
and thought, what's that?
Yeah.
So he thought, oh, doesn't matter, whatever. And he stops off at a cafe, right?
Yeah.
Get a little scone, a tea or whatever. And he goes in there and he's sat down, and the waiter comes over. He says, yeah, what do you want? He says, I'll have a scone and a tea. He goes, all right then. So he goes to get it, comes back. As he puts the tea and the scone down, his face is like, what is that? Right? Like a look of frightenedness on his face, right? Drops the tea and legs it. So the fella's going, what? So he legs it after the bloke and goes, what? And he says, oh, something came out of your nose. That was massive.
Sorry, something came out of
Listen,
the
this
guy's
is all
serving.
true because people would have watched it, so don't start saying it
Sorry,
didn't
but hang on,
happen.
I just need to clarify. The guy
I
on the
don't.
bike...
I don't believe he ran away.
Wait a
I
minute.
don't believe he legged it. I don't believe he had a look of frightenedness on his face, and I don't believe he said something massive came out your nose.
Wait a
and
minute.
I don't even believe he had a cup of tea and a scone. These are the things that I think are embellished.
But who had something coming out of his nose? Was it the guy serving the scone?
The one who was on the bike who ordered the scone,
Yeah, but what
it
was
came out
it?
of his nose.
Yeah, what was it? Came out of his nose.
right? So he goes home and he thinks, I've got to sort this out because it's not good and that. So he
But what? No, it was out of his nose. So you mean it poked out of his nose? It didn't come out.
It just said hello and then it...
It was like the maggot in the head.
Yeah,
he just
yeah,
popped,
it just-
popped his head out, had a look around and went back in.
Why
I
did
was
the bloke drop the tea and run?
like, well, it's weird, isn't it?
All right, so he goes home.
He goes home and he goes, oh, God, you know. So he sits in front of the mirror and he's sat there waiting. This thing comes out. Again, sort of looks round, goes back in again. So he goes, oh,
No scones.
right.
Not interested.
So he goes, I've got to sort this out. He goes to the doctors, says to the doctor, I've got something up my nose. It just keeps coming out and having a look round, going back in.
Didn't say
So
that.
the doctor's like, oh, I haven't heard of that before. Right?
Didn't say that.
So sat there. It does it again. The doctor looks, frightened again.
Runs away.
Yeah.
He,
No, he
he,
didn't run
Well,
away.
he's got a look of frightenedness on
he,
his face.
he had a look of medical frightenedness. He dropped his stethoscope and legged it.
No, he said, I know what it was. So what? So you got a leech up your nose. He had a leech about that long.
What's radio?
Well, how long's that?
4 inches.
4 inches coming out of his nose. Next time it stuck its head out, he grabbed it, pulled it out. That's horrible, though, isn't it? Isn't it?
Can I just remind people, just let people know, when Carl was saying it was about that long and Ricky said 4 inches, he was using his fingers.
Oh yeah, he didn't have his
There's nothing else there.
fella out. No.
So he had a leech up his nose. How did he get a leech up his nose?
Don't know, again, I'm not that bothered about that bit. It's just all the footage and stuff.
Oh, play a record.
Brilliant programme.
Yeah.
It's just the same. He just sees that. He gets fast. He doesn't read on. His education is just sound bites and self-embellishment in his own head.
Yeah.
Well,
It's
funny,
like
'cause people-
he gets all his news from Ananova and he just reads the headline.
Yeah. Carl Pilkington's with us as well. He's learnt some stuff while
Well,
the song's been on.
He's had a couple of calls, one from a bloke, one from a woman who worked in a sex shop, and you learnt quite a lot. I could see your eyes widening. What have you learnt then about butt plugs?
I haven't really learnt anything. I still don't understand it.
Yes, you have.
No, but the woman was just saying, you know, it spices things up a bit.
Yeah.
Well, what do you need to do that for? The end result is always the same, I think. So why complicate it? Do you know what I mean? Are you with me, though? These people who say, you know, they do stuff all night, it's like, what's the point? That's why I like short stories and that.
Yeah.
Oh, brilliant.
So...
Excellent. I wish people could see what he looks like when he's talking about it. Oh, in fact, he's in Heat next week, Steve.
Right. Is he?
Yeah, they've put a picture of him. They could do the grab off the DVD, and he's behind the scenes, and he's got his little picture in Heat, and he hates it, don't you?
Well, I'm a bit annoyed because I didn't want it in.
Why are you worried?
Just don't want people
Knowing what you
knowing
look
what I
like.
look like and that.
Why?
Were you on the DVD?
Yeah, but
It's to public domain. Anyone can take it off there and put it on the paper now.
but that's extras on a DVD, and I'm just thinking not that many people. If they watch it, they won't take it in, stuff like that.
What are you worried about then?
Just I don't. There's like me brother and sister and stuff who I don't see anymore. If they know what I look like now, they might.
What do you mean if they know what you look like now? They've just got to imagine little Carl Pilkington with no hair.
No, I've changed quite a lot because I work hard, don't I? So I've aged quite badly. Right. And I'm just thinking if they
You used to have the hair of a
outside work-
Chinaman,
But
didn't you?
sorry, why is it a problem for your brother and sister to see you and to?
Because I don't see them anymore, do I? And they'll come out of the woodwork now. Do you
What?
know
What?
They're after your millions.
No. So they're sitting at home. They're looking at Heat, and there goes Carl Pilkington. Oh, Carl's my brother. My brother. Oh, maybe I'll go and see him.
I don't want the hassle.
But they could find out where you are
What's
anytime.
hassle? What's the hassle then?
It's just hassle of having friends and family and that.
You mean this, don't you?
Yeah, it's you know that I'm not into having.
But
mates
if
and
either
that.
your brother or your sister came to your door, would you not welcome them in and give them a cup of tea?
Do you know what? He bumped into his sister, right, after about 7 years in a car park somewhere, right? And she went, oh, I've got a picture of my new kid. Do you want to see it? He went, not really. All kids look the same. And she went off in half.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, but that's the problem though, isn't it? She hadn't seen me for years and years. That's the way I am. I'm not like being rude or anything. I'm just says what comes in my head.
Oh, don't give me that. Don't do that. I'm not rude. It's what comes in me head.
That's a rubbish excuse.
Not
know
rude.
me, know my ways.
Yeah.
Right, am I wrong then? Let's look at it. Let's look at what I said.
Hey, there's an ounce of Barmer's cakes. Know me, know my ways. Get out, you twiddle flunt. What is that? What sort of philosophy is that? Know me, I'm rude and take it or
I'm
leave
not
it.
being rude.
You
What?
are being rude.
What, saying that all babies look the same?
It's your nephew. You didn't even bother to have a look. You could have been courteous
but
and
she's
had a
had-
look at the picture.
If it was a first, I'd say fair enough, but she's got loads of kids.
Oh, fair enough.